Recently, the Counter-Strike 2 community discovered a major issue. Shooting in the game feels broken, and now we finally know why shooting in CS2 feels worse compared to Global Offensive, and surprisingly, it's not because of subtick. Today I'll cover this along with other important CS2 news from the past week. Leave a like right now and let's get started. It's been exactly 1 month since the last update dropped in Counter-Strike 2. Since then, we haven't received anything significant aside from the removal of Shanghai major capsule discounts. Still, the game's player count remains consistently high, probably because CS2 isn't the kind of game that needs constant content updates, or at least that's what the developers believe. However, the community keeps coming up with new ideas. For example, Tour suggested several improvements for the Wingman mode. He believes Wingman could become the most popular mode if it had a proper ranking system similar to Premier Matchmaking, a leaderboard for 2-player teams, and more maps added. And the maps are definitely out there. Over the past year, the Steam Workshop has seen a flood of high-quality Wingman maps created by the community, but even though CS2's player base is growing, the game still has its fair share of issues. I'm not even talking about the obvious cheating problem. CS2 continues to struggle with FPS drops. Even after a month without updates, weird things are still happening. There also reported a 26% FPS drop during matches, starting a game at 300 FPS and dropping to 250 after just 10 rounds. But let's move on to a more serious issue: shooting. From the day CS2 launched, players have been complaining that something feels off with the gunplay. Most people blame the subtick or the lack of 128 tick servers, since matchmaking still runs at 64 tick with the subtick system. But recently a much simpler and surprising explanation was discovered, and it has to do with sound delay. A Reddit user with a rather unique nickname found a reference in the game files to a 150 millisecond delay for the armor body damage variable. To understand how significant 150 milliseconds is, imagine playing matchmaking with your usual 50 ping and then suddenly trying to play with 200 ping. That's the kind of delay we're talking about. He even attached a video comparison to demonstrate the delay before and after he used mods to remove it. The difference is really noticeable. This discovery caught a lot of attention and others began investigating, and yes, many confirmed that the delay is real. Even more, it turns out Global Offensive doesn't have this delay at all. Some might argue this is just a visual or audio bug, and technically they'd be right, but your brain still processes that delay, and that affects how the shooting feels, making it feel less smooth and less predictable. So while it might not directly affect the gameplay mechanics, it does affect your perception, and that makes it a real problem. Personally, I think Valve added the delay to synchronize hit detection with the blood splatter animation, which also isn't instant. That might make sense in a single-player game, but in a competitive shooter like CS2, this kind of thing is unacceptable. Hopefully, after this discussion blew up, Valve will address the issue in a future update. Speaking of visuals, some players thought that changing your view model could affect the position of bullet holes in smokes. In case you're wondering, the theory was that tweaking your view model could help you see the gaps in smoke more easily. But someone on Reddit tested it in real time by switching view models, and the bullet holes stayed in the exact same position. So yeah, that theory has been debunked, even if it does look a little unrealistic. A player named Molecura recently shared on his Telegram channel that he got a temporary ban from VAC Live. First it was a short suspension, then another one, this time for several days, and no, he wasn't using cheats. That's not surprising, and if you ever get flagged by VAC Live, your account's trust score takes a big hit. The system won't view you as a legitimate player anymore. I'll leave a source link if you want to check it out. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching until the end. I'm Ravil, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next damn video.